All right. So today I want to talk a little bit more about content creation. Yesterday I was explaining more about the structure of launch, and as I was showing the Trello board, you guys could see that there was some parts there for content. But then today I want to explain a little bit more about that part of content creation and why we have that. And I will be showing that little part again. But then for that, we're gonna start with some, a little bit of explanation on content creation, some of the ways that I use to create content and things like that. And then from there, we're gonna start rolling. All right. So let me see here to share my screen with you guys. Let's start talking about content creation. Okay. Okay. As I like to say, content creation is the heart and soul of your launch. Okay. And it's the part that it's really gonna help you sell effortlessly. Okay. Content, it's kind of like it's that cherry on the top that comes when you are building a strong brand and you really position yourself. And whenever you launch a offer, a product, a service, something like that, your content already did all the heavy lifting for you. So you just have to come in and help people solve any issues that you might be helping them, and completing those desires that they have. So I have here some things like usually the challenge when I talk to other, coach, service providers, anyone trying to launch something, anyone with a business per se, it is that they don't want to spend a lot of time creating content, and they actually shouldn't spend a lot of time creating content, right? Or whenever they do put some effort and they put the time to create content, nothing happens, right? Sorry, I have to be drinking all the time because of my allergies. Otherwise, I start coughing here. We don't want that. Um, okay, so what happens, like I try to tackle most of that on this system, okay? So you don't have to feel like you don't have the time to create content, you don't want to spend lots of time creating content, not hearing anything, okay? So with this strategy here, what I want is for you to create content that is gonna do all the heavy lifting of the launch for you. It's gonna help you sell effortlessly, and it's gonna help you position yourself, and it's going to help you create connections with your audience. Okay. Not sure if you guys have heard about that, but repetition in marketing. Repetition in marketing, it's something that it's something that it's so powerful and so overlooked by smaller creators or business owners. The reason for that is that big agents, of course, they use that. Okay, they usually use this part of having the repetition all the time and having all the campaigns and things like that. But whenever other people who don't have a big marketing team or agents or something behind try to do that, the first thing I hear is, I feel like I'm repeating myself too much. It's getting boring. Let me tell you something. It might feel that it's boring for you, but it's not for your audience. The thing is, every time you repeat yourself, you're just planting the seed. You're just helping them understand more and more. And you are creating that association with whatever you are using as a repetition to your brand. That's why it's really important that you create the type of content that even though you are repeating yourself, people are just like, oh yeah, I want more of that. Um, there is there's a college research done a few years back that explains better this this whole situation. I put here just a little bit so you guys can understand, okay? It's the psychology of familiarity, okay? So they repeat elements on the messaging, okay? Repeating keywords. Remember I talked about that before, keywords and Keywords, phrases, and sounds in marketing can create a sense of brand recognition and trust. So that's really good for you. Okay. The more it's exposed to a specific language or elements, the more likely people are to feel comfortable, and inclined towards that brand. So what happens? There was some kind of like research back then, and I saw once this whole thing, and it really makes sense. And I'm gonna try to explain to you guys, so maybe you see the same form that I see it. Remember back when we were more into radios and not so much streams, YouTube or Spotify, things like that. There was always this thing where you could call and ask for a song, right? And a lot of times there would be on most radios that I knew, it was like if three people ask for the song, they're gonna play. If 10 people are gonna ask, like on the end of the day, they're gonna play again, or the end of the hour, they're gonna play again. Something like that would always go on in radios. Different radios would play with that differently. And what happens, it was that by doing that type of game, you would hear the same song at least 10 times a day or something like that. And behind the scenes, like for everyone listen to that, it was just fun. It was like, oh yeah, the song's playing so much. And there was points in time in the in certain songs, certain artists, they were like, I don't really like this artist or song. But then at a certain point on that trend, you start like, oh yeah, it's fine. And you would go to a party and even dance to that song. And the behind the scenes, what happens, it's like labels, artists, they all have contracts, and they would have these contracts with the radios to make their song play X amount of time per day, per week, and per month. By doing that, what happens, they were using this repetition in marketing, because your brain, even though you might not love that song, because it was familiar, because you already know what's coming, because you already know the lyrics, it tricks you into think that you like that song. So even though you might at the beginning not like the song, you get used to it. And when it got to a point where the song would be playing, you would not change the radio and you just enjoy, and get to a point where you actually like that song. So this is something that I always remember when I'm trying to explain about repetition to people, because not everyone is familiar with that concept, and they feel like, oh, they shouldn't be repeating themselves. And yes, you should. Of course, it's not that you're going to be repeating exactly the same thing every single day, every single post. But again, it comes back to keywords to create the connections, okay? And this is one of the things they're going to talk here, the keywords for connection. So you might not repeat every single word that you say. However, the way you're going to be crafting this content means that you're going to choose a few keywords. I explain here, choose 3 to 5 keywords. Of course, you can choose more, but for the sake of this example, just for you to try out this method, choose between 3 to 5 keywords. Keywords that, create that positive influence in your brand, between your brand and your audience desires. Okay. And creating this repetition, what's going to happen is that you're going to help people really understand that you are the person to help with that bridge between what they want and what you can provide. Okay. Over the time with this, repetition, it contributes for you to create a strong and positive association between your brand and, the familiar elements that you are consistent incorporating that. So let's say, for instance, if you are someone who sell houses in the lake, okay, lake houses, you might be, of course, using these words, lake house, lake house, lake house. However, whenever you want to associate the right audience, because not everyone who's buying a house on the lake or something like that, it's the same kind of people that you might want on your business. You might be looking for a specific person per se, because maybe it's a gate community or something like that. what are you going to do? You're going to choose 3 to 5 words. So maybe those keywords might be peaceful, it might be luxury, it might be kind of like oasis, or, stress free. Okay, something like that. So every time you're talking about your houses and how it's amazing to live by the lake, to have that peaceful place to be, to have a stress free morning because you are just by the lake. Whenever you have the luxury of being on a place like that. So you see what I mean? Every time you associate that with your content, people start putting that on their mind. So if you are someone who is looking to attract the right audience that are looking for a lake house because it's going to be a peaceful place for them, it's going to be luxurious and things like that, that's the type of people that you're going to be attracting. And that can go for any kind of like service. It can go any time of coaching. Okay. I know I have one of the ladies, Andrea, and she mentioned she wants to create another part for, no, apart from her business, that it's about aging well, in a more not organic, in a more holistic way. And what she mentions, it's actually that. So whenever you say that, you start associating. So what could be those things? It could be like, what is aging well for you? It's, loving who you are. It is maybe organic skincare. That's why I had that on mine. It might be exercising, eating well, and all those things. So let's say, for instance, she chooses a way to talk about, aging well by nutrition, exercise, and only using organic products, because it might be that at some point she might want to have her organic line. So every time she's speaking about that, that's really going to connect with people. And that doesn't mean that any other way is wrong. It just means that the audience that she is going to be attracting, it's the type of audience that's really interested in learning how to age only by, eating well, exercising, and using organic skin care. Okay. It doesn't mean that, if you use Botox or any other thing, it's the wrong way, the right way. It just means that that's the way that she wants to talk about, a holistic way, and that's the type of people that she wants to attract. So she's gonna be, all the time talking about that. Oh, yeah, it's amazing if you get, to a certain point on your life and you feel like you don't have time to exercise. Here are my tips to exercise, because it's going to help you create, more of this type of cells, renew the cells on your body, and this and that. So whenever she comes with explanation for that, and she's using the exercise word, she's planting the seed on the mind of people, and people might be at some point like, oh yeah, you know what? I really like exercising, and I really like to understand more about that, so that I get to a point where, I understand this whole process, and I will use that on advantage for me to age well in a way that I feel comfortable. So that's why keywords are very important. So as a little exercise for you guys, I really would love to see some keywords on the group. If you want to share with us, just go there and post what 3 to 5 keywords would you like to choose to use this week to, really create connection with your audience on your content. Okay, so I have talked about the 3 by 3 method on the PDFs. Not sure if you guys have seen. If not, that's a very good PDF to go through and understand a little bit more. But I will show here a little bit more too. This is also part of another course of mine, Posting to Profit, which helps more in depth of this. Because this is only 1 week, of course, I have to cut a little bit here and there to give you guys the best part that I can, so you can go and start implement those things and start launching your offers. Okay, but basically what that means is that the 3 by 3 method means that you're gonna have 3 main pillars of subjects that you want to talk about on your business, and then you're gonna have 3 types of content. Okay, which is educational, inspiring, and promotional, right? I'm not sure if you guys heard about the 2080 rule. I learned that way a long time ago that whenever you're creating content, a lot of people ask like, oh, what's the right amount to sell and things like that. And a lot of people mention like, oh, it's the 820. You create only 8% of your content about everything else, value, and 20% is sales, right? So what happens is that even though it's a good way to go, for me it felt a little bit overwhelming to think, okay, have I talked too much about sales or not, or it was too little, or I will create tons of content on value and not sell anything, and then just talk twice about that. All this type of things, it becomes a little bit overwhelming. Uh, so what I did was I broke that into this 3 by 3, and this was the method that I found most useful, and I feel like it's such a good way to go and create so much content really effortlessly. Okay, and I'm gonna explain a little bit more. Let's see if I can share here with you guys. Let me. How do I remove this? Uh, uh, um, Miss here. Let me just find back here. Sorry about that. I think I closed the window with the right one. Okay. Share screen. See? Is this one here? Yes. Okay. Let me see. Can you guys see? I think so, right? Okay. Yes. Let me grab. Let me see. What are you guys seeing? Make sure. This one. Okay. No. Okay, great. Now it's this one. So as you can see here, we're gonna have the area, which is your title, whatever, it is that you do. Either you could be a coach or service provider or anything like that. So you could put this here. It's just a way to organize everything a little bit more for you guys. Then we have 1, 2, 3 pillars. And then here you have the type of content, just like on the other picture. The subjects, it's subjects that you can put inside of each pillar, all right? Because what happens, it's a lot of times when you're talking about something, you don't want to specifically talk just about that. There is some kind of like, siblings subjects that fit into that to really complement your content creation, right? But you want to be known by one thing, by that one thing that makes you the go-to person. So whatever that is, they're gonna fit on these 3 pillars, and then the subjects are gonna be these smaller ones, the sub parts of your content. Sorry. Um, I'm gonna give you a little example here. This is mine, but of course you can, create that for any kind of niche. Okay. So in my case, as a business coach, I focus in branding, marketing, and sales. That's the thing that I have been doing for years. That's the thing that I do behind the scenes for other coaches. It's really working on, creating a strong brand, creating strong marketing strategies, and helping them making sales. So what I have done here, it's inside branding. I have visual identity, personal branding, and authority. Marketing, I have niche, emails, social media. Sales, launch, closing sales, and content that converts. Then what happens is, see how this is going to work. On your educational one, you could divide that into how-tos, tips, myths, and mistakes. You can add more things if you like to, or you can do less if you want to. That's all right. That's just a way for you to go instead of thinking like, okay, educational content, what should I create today? What can I talk about this thing? So It's not just that, you really have breaking down into small pieces. Inspiring, same thing, success stories, your hero journey, mindset, belief shift, and then promotional, direct sales, objections, social proof, and why me, why you in this case. What you're gonna do is then you're gonna get the first one, how to visual identity, how to choose your colors in my case, how to um, tips on type of colors, three myths about having the same colors, how to, if I go to personal brand, how to start your personal branding, authority, how to position yourself, all those type of things. So let's say if you are a fitness coach, you could go to, let's say your pillars could be exercising, eating well, and losing weight, okay? And then sorry, inside of those smaller ones, sorry, say it again. If you have those examples, sorry, I'm not good at fitness, as you can see. So it's just a quick example. So if you would be a fitness coach, this could be losing weight, eating well, and exercising, right? So under that, under eating well, it could be quick recipes. It could be, let's see, quick recipes. It could be desserts. It could be recipe with kids, something like that, depending on the niche that you have. Maybe you help moms lose weight. So it might be challenge for them to have recipes that they both can eat her and the kids and make that in the hustle to create more food and things like that. Under losing weight, it could be, losing weight, after having a child for a special event with health certain time, things like that. So whenever you go in how to, let's say on if you have recipes, how to meal prep even if you have kids, how to exercise even if you have kids, how to exercise less than 30 minutes a day, how to things like that. Let's say, for instance, in this case of holistic aging, it could be how to find the best system for you, to how to find the best skincare, how to find the best exercises for you, uh, because of schedule, age, anything like that, physical situations, all those things. And then each of those helps you create a prompt that you can just go with your expertise and just fill in everything. With this one here, you can create tons of content that's really gonna help you position yourself. It is like the easiest way that I found to create prompts to myself, where I don't have to be thinking about, okay, what should I post today? But at the same time, I don't want to go out of whatever I do and kind of like thinking, oh, I already talked about that or I did this. Because whenever you do this here, you have a lot of posts. Even if you come back and do something like that, it's always going to have some kind of a ramification from it that you can still talk about. So let's say how to choose your colors, how to choose your colors if you're in the food industry, how to choose your colors if you're in the wellness industry, how to choose your colors if you are new, how to rebrand your colors if you already have a color palette. Do you know what I mean? So the same thing for you with your expertise. You can just go back and just think about the things that you can talk about and how you can help people, and what are the desires, remember, and just really connect with all this. I hope this was, helpful for you guys to understand. And then now I'm gonna jump for another part so you can see uh, the part on the Trello where you're gonna be using the content creation. Okay. Let me see. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, yeah, this is the presentation. Yeah. So now I think it's clear for you guys, right? What is this part here and how you're gonna use? Because what happens, like those three type of contents, it's really gonna help you create this cycle of, nurturing, captivating, and closing sales. Nurture, captivating, and closing sales. Because whenever you captivate people because they understand what you do and how great you are, And then, you keep on this whole situation that you are nurturing them, and then you are making sales. Because the educational content, it's really going to help you attract your audience. Okay. The inspiring content, it's going to create that connection. Okay. And of course, the sales, it's going to help you close sales. It's to simplify out this. All right. Let me show you guys now the Trello board on that part and what is inside that. And here, share my screen. Here you go. So here's our Trello board. So yesterday we talked about this part here, and I know it's a little bit backwards, but you're gonna see now why. Because whenever we were talking about this whole structure and how this works, and how you can just use all the prompts inside to really help you and guide you through your launch. Let's say for the teaser one, you had things like the desires, launch a teaser campaign, highlight the desire, things like that. You maybe think like, okay, now I have to create all this content. How do I create all this content? So this is where we go back here, and this is kind of like our bank space of content. You can use that 3x3 graphic to help you create all the prompts by yourself and really put your heart into creating the contents that you're going to be sharing. Okay. Or if you need a little help, I did add here some prompts. Okay. And what I want you to do, it's kind of like use this system here. When you are in launch mode, okay, which is a little bit different when you're not launch mode. When you're not in launch mode, you're always going to be captivating and nurturing people. Remember, I talked a little bit more about that yesterday. But when you are in launch mode, you really want to be on this loop of the educational, inspiring, promotional kind of thing to really help people go through the buying journey and say yes to your offer. So what you're going to do, it's in a easiest way, it is you can be sharing daily a long format post, then next day transformational post, then next day some short question or statement, next day educational post, next day engaging post, which can be just a quick question or something like that, something funny, something light, then another high value post, and then another short question statement post. Why is that? Because you are going to take people on a journey of understanding where you are, what you do, what the transformations you provide, educating them on everything, engage with them, uh, create value, and then back and forth on that. All right? Because whenever you create the system, what happens is the heavy lifting, it's done for you in simple ways. Because let's say you're talking about transformation, you don't really have to go heavy on the pitch on this type of post and say like, oh, I have this type of program, blah blah blah. This is going to be a promotional post. But whenever you're talking about transformation, you could just have a call to action saying, would you like to experience this transformation? Let's say you're talking about an inspirational post, a history, something like, would you like to create a story like this? Would you like to see yourself, in a year talking about yourself in this way? Things like that, that will really open a door for you to talk to that person about sales without really having to go like, oh yeah, buy from me right now. It's going to be like if someone comment, and when you do these really little questions, simple questions, that it's like, would you like to be talking about yourself like this in a year? Yes or no? It's as simple as that. Would you like to experience this type of transformation? Yes or no? Okay, so all those small ways of sales, it's going to be nurturing people, but it's going to be helping you move the needle, on the sales. So let me show you guys here. Educational content, you have tons of them here. So let's say experts showcase, okay? If you're using this, it could be that you just click here, open the little card, and you get the prompt here. Share specific skill or area of expertise that sets you apart, okay, in your niche. How can this skill benefit your audience, and why it's crucial for, specific outcome, whatever you choose them to have the achievement. Stay tuned for exciting announcement. So something like that. And here there's a template that you can use. So you just have to, fill in the blanks with specific things for yourself. If you don't want to use this specific template, you want to write it your own way. That's all right. You can just, get here, write whatever you want and click save. And let's say it's done, right? And this is on the teaser week. Let's say you want to use that on your teaser week. All you have to do is you have to just drag this here. And this way you start creating your whole launch strategy, because you know everything that you're going to be posting, when you're going to be posting, and it's all ready for you to just come here and copy and paste and schedule or post right away whenever you want. Different platforms, different formats, and everything. Let's say you have here a personal transformation story and you want to put that on a review week. You can just come here again, drag and drop, and you can be doing that for any of this type of cards here, any of this type of content, and you can create your own too with Trello. Let's say if you don't really want to use that, but you want to create your own, you just create here and add the card, click to open the card, and right here, write your own prompt post. Okay. And then again, you have this here. Let's say you wrote something amazing about something that you are working on. You can just come here and post here. And you can even go ahead and put the dates. Let's say if you're going to do this on the 2nd of February, you just do something like that. Let's say this one you're going to be doing on the 29th of January. You can just do something like that, so you know when you're going to post everything, and you just have to come here, copy and paste, and do it. Again, this is a system where you have everything that you need to create, launch, or repeat. Because let's say you go through this here, whatever offer you're doing, and people are, let's say if it's a coaching program, okay, for instance, and in 3 months or 4 months, you want to launch again. You don't have to write every single thing again. Remember about the repetition? You just have to come here, copy and paste, and share. If you want to tweak a little bit, you can. But one thing is right, in 4 months, people don't remember every single thing that you post. And people might not have seen the first time you post. And some people who might have seen, they wouldn't mind, because it's always a good reminder, because your content's so good, remember, that they're gonna like to see that inspiration, those transformations, and everything that you are sharing. Okay. So all this here, it can be done in about a week or so, and you have everything ready for your launch, so you can continue launching every time. If it's a page, just like Andrea, that she wants to launch a page about holistic aging and something like that, holistic health, same thing. What's the page about? How's she gonna nurture the clients? Everything. It's this kind of thing that you can just come here, post, write everything, have it ready, go to the teaser, start talking about something, why you're in this journey, all those little things. Then when it's the review, they say like, oh, this page is ready, it's here, all those things. If you have something to sell, then it's the week of sales. And everything, you can just start come here and kind of like, just dragging and drop. Let's say sales week, you have offer breakdown. Again, I put everything here for you. You have a prompt, and then you have the template saying like, what's the overview of your offer? What's the components? Who is for? Keyword, key components, how it works, benefits, everything. You just have to come, copy and paste. And I'm gonna be giving all of this for you guys, you know, so you can just use that for your lunch. All right. I hope you guys understood well this whole process, because it was a little bit backwards, right? Yesterday we talked about this. Today we're talking about this, but I hope you guys got, because this was the system and now it's the content creation and how you're going to be spreading this there. I'm going to be putting a little bit more resources here on the start here part for you guys. but just so you have an idea, like this is headlines and hooks that you're gonna be able to use. It's a little PDF. This is visibility. It's just to help you acknowledge, like to leverage every space of visibility that it's free online that you can help promote your launch, like Facebook cover, group cover, profile cover, because this, yeah, page cover, profile cover, events on Facebook, event on group Facebook, Instagram highlights, pin posts, pin reels, all those little things that can really help you create this seamless launch that you are going to be able to do it on repeat effortlessly. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this session, this training, and I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear what was your, tag me on that. And I would love to help you more. And tomorrow we have another call. So I see you tomorrow. And again, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy this.